Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Colby from Sanitarian Productions. We're back again with another G.I. Joe action figure review. In this episode, we're taking a look at the Target Exclusive Rise of Cobra G.I. Joe Rescue Mission box set. So this is a pretty cool looking box set here. It comes with 4 figures in the set. We get a movie version of Duke, Snake Eyes, and we get 2 of the Neo Vipers in this. So it's a pretty cool looking set. This came out in 2008 to coincide with the movie. Comes on this nice window box. So you can see inside, see the cool little diorama set they got going on with the cool little walkway thing. So if you move around here, you can see all sorts of other stuff through the cool window. The top lets you see from the top down. Again, it does say a little bit about what's going on here. The Neo Viper, Snake Eyes, Duke. Pretty nice. One side has the Cobra logo. The other side has the G.I. Joe logo. Our bottom includes our file cards. We got one for Snake Eyes, one for Duke, and it looks like just one for the Neo Viper, not 2. Don't know about that, but that's what we got anyways. Then on the back, we've got more of the description-y stuff going on, plus what the set kind of looks like out of the box here. One thing I'll note is that for some reason, instead of Duke, this looks more like Ripcord from the movie. So I don't know if that's just a packaging error or what's going on there, but still kind of cool looking. We're going to go ahead and unbox this thing for y'all so we can take a look at this thing. I'm not usually one for dioramas, but this one's kind of interesting. It's got this cool Great Way catwalky thing here that looks halfway interesting anyway. So anyways, let's go ahead and unbox this thing. Got a couple of pieces of tape here on the side, on the bottom, and then on the top here. And theoretically, this should just unfold like that. Flip these things up, and this will slide out. Nice. Then there's nothing else in the box here, so we'll toss this to the side. Again, be mindful of the fact that your file cards are on the bottom of the box there, so clip them out before you toss it away. We get a little bit better look at what's going on inside here. It looks pretty interesting. We've got a bunch of these big cannons laying around everywhere. There's one in the back here with Snake Eyes. We got the Duke up here in the front, the 2 Neo Vipers, and a cool Mars briefcase here that it may have a code in it for the EA game. So we'll look at that here in a second. Packaging wise, let's take a look here. So we've got a bunch of tape everywhere, and on the bottom we've got some rubber bandy things, some more tape holding stuff in, and our accessories and all that cool stuff. So let's start there and just pull that out. So cool accessories, lots of different things in here. We'll get and zoom in on that stuff when we get around to it, but let's go ahead and start trying to slice this thing apart so we can get in here to the figures. They're really good at making sure stuff doesn't move around in transit here. Just want to slice that open here. And again, it's a nice way to make sure everything comes out of the packaging nicely. But for when you're actually trying to get it open, it's aggravating. So just try and cut everything we can. Cut around the outside edges of all this stuff. There's something went. Okay, so let's just try to wiggle this stuff around. And I think that's everything. So let's go back to the front. That was one of our cannons that fell out. And try to pull this stuff out if we can. May have to shift some stuff around here. There's one figure free. Go from the back side, pull. There's the second figure free. And the third figure. Fourth figure. And then all this stuff is still in there because it's attached to the side. So back to the side. Cut these little rubber band things off. And then our other cannon's out. And this other cannon thing. And that's everything except for this thing. There, we got the briefcase out. So this diorama is a little wonky in that it's not really meant to go back together too easily. So it's a cool looking piece, but probably not going to bother trying to keep it as is. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all keep any of these things here? I usually don't bother with them, but let me know what y'all do with those things. So, alright, so we got figures, and more figures. Lots of these little doohickeys. Go ahead and pull all these rubber bands off of these things. And there's one holding in this briefcase. And then let's see, the figures as well have rubber bands all over them. So cutting some more. And pull out the weapon. Pull out the figure. Our first Neo Viper. Go ahead and remove more rubber bands from these guys. And then he's got another rubber band holding his blaster pistol on. So let's go ahead and slice that off. And our first figure is free. Move on to the second figure. He's not quite got as many rubber bands, but still a bunch. Let's pop this guy out. Pull him free. Got a blaster pistol. Get rid of this rubber band. Another rubber band on his head. And I think that's all for that guy. He actually has 2 guns with him, so that's cool. Moving on to Duke here. Slice off these rubber bands. And see what we can do to get him out. And that pistol stayed in place. We'll pull it out. Toss that to the side. Assault rifle thing with another rubber band. And Snake Eyes is last. Alrighty. We're almost there. And that was unfortunate, but the sword on Snake Eyes just broke. as we were pulling it out of the packaging. So that is a shame. Get rid of these rubber bands here. And that's everything. So the blade here is what actually just snapped. I can probably save that with a little bit of super glue. But yeah, just be careful when you're opening these things, because that stuff will happen. Alright, cool. So that's all the figures we get. We get 4 of them in the set. Snake Eyes, Duke, and 2 of these Neo Vipers. You get a cool one of these crazy zip line looking things as a rocket launcher. You get 2 more rocket launchers. So I'm assuming the missiles are in there. So yeah, some cool stuff. Let's see here. I guess let's go ahead and zoom in a little closer now. Start looking at the individual figures. And try to figure out the best way to go about doing this. Yeah, so let's start with the Mars briefcase. So these things are pretty cool. They're just made out of cardboard, but have some nice details going on them. You press on one side of it, and the actual inside briefcase kind of opens up. And you may have to slide it around. Actually, this one's taped. So let's see here. Let's just cut that. There we go. Pull this tape out. There. And inside of the briefcase, since it actually started to open for us, is nothing. So at one time they were including codes for the game itself, but for whatever reason, this one doesn't have a code. So it's kind of a toss-away briefcase, but it's an interesting kind of thing. You can pretend like they're fighting over the case itself. So, but to the side it goes. I'm actually going to spread these guys out a little bit here, so we can take a look here at this accessory case. So let's go ahead and slice the tape off of this guy. Let's just dump all this stuff out and see what and all we have. Cool, lots of stuff in here. So we'll start out with the figure stands. We have the dog tag versions of these figure stands here. Cobra one here for the Neo Viper. We've got 2 of those, since we do have 2 Neo Vipers. They're both the same, nothing really different about those. Very nice though. Then we have one for Duke here. This is the G.I. Joe one. So on the back we've got the G.I. Joe symbol there. I always like these dog tag versions of these figure stands. And one for Snake Eyes, of course. Pretty much the same all the way around, just with a different code name. So, okay, then we have lots of different accessories here. So let's just see what and all we have. We do have these 2 blue missiles here. They go with these light blue large cannon things. So let's just go ahead and load one up here. Snaps in place really well. We can get the focus in here. Got a little bit of detail work going on. Not a whole lot. Press the little red button on the front, and you pop those things out. So pretty good spring mechanism on those things. I don't really much care for these things, but it comes with it. So anyways, we do get 2 of those. So the second one is pretty much the same. Load it up, press the button, it fires. So yeah, 2 of those. Let's see here. We also get a couple of knives here. So let's look at this one first. We can manage to stay within our focus ring. Pretty standard knife here. Nothing really special about it. I don't know which person this one goes with, so I'll assume this probably just goes with Duke. Sure, why not? So there's that one. We also get a smaller knife here. If we can zoom in. Got a little bit of detail work going on, nothing really special. And again, I don't know which one this one's supposed to go with, so we'll just assume it's Duke. Why not? We also get two of these really cool ice boots, I guess you could tell them. So they got these little spiky bits on them. They got a foot peg. So these can go with, I guess, anybody here. It doesn't really matter. So I'll probably stick these with one of the Neo Vipers just because. If you know specifically which ones these are supposed to go to, feel free to drop a comment down below. But the way these work is you just kind of grab your guy, line it up. Well, okay, so the little foot peg here is actually in the center of this thing, and our Neo Viper's foot peg is towards the front, so I'll assume it doesn't go to him. Same thing for our second Neo Viper. However, our Joes here, their foot pegs are pretty much in the center, so this will actually fit on either Duke. So I just slide it in there like that. And then theoretically it would also work with Snake Eyes here. So let's press that into place there, and it just snaps on. So you can actually do it with either Snake Eyes or with Duke there. So those are Joe accessories though, so don't ask me why, but that's the best I can come up with. We also get an extra blaster pistol for one of the Neo Vipers. Again, some decent detail work there. Pretty nice looking. So we'll throw that with, so the Neo Vipers kind of come with 2 guns and that little blaster pistol. So since this guy came with the other blaster pistol, that's the same. We'll put the other one with the new guy. And same thing for the actual assault rifles here. So you've got 2 of these for each of the Neo Vipers. And they're going to be the same that we got out of the package versus in the accessory pack here. So let's just take a look at those first here. So here's the this one. I don't know what you want to call it here. Some interesting detail work also. They do have a little peg hole on the side. This is meant so that they will peg onto the backpacks of the Neo Vipers. So you've got a little peg hole there and a peg on the side. You just kind of snap those in place. If I can line it up right. And they can carry that accessory on their back. So that's kind of a cool little thing here. The second larger blaster rifle here works the same way. You've got that peg hole and then the peg on the other side of the backpack. I'll flip it over so you can see that. So they did put some interesting detail work into these things, so that's nice. Just kind of flip it over here and just do the same thing. Just kind of peg it in place like that, and you can carry your weapons with you. So that's a cool thing. So each of the Neo Vipers get 2 gray assault rifles and the black pistol. Then let's see, the other ones that we get in the set are this black small assault rifle. Again, I don't know weapons, so I don't know what the actual designation is for this kind of gun, so, you know, all y'all weapons experts out there, feel free to leave that in the comments so we'll know. But I got no idea what this thing is, but it's a small assault rifle. How's that? And then we got this crazy other assault rifle. Some nice detail work. It's kind of a sci-fi-ish looking thing to me. I say that in that I think in my head, all the ones that have these crazy magazine accessory piece things are all sci-fi-ish in my head, simply because they don't conform to my ideal of a regular assault rifle. So to kind of put that into perspective, for me, an M16 is a regular assault rifle. So anything that's not an M16 or of that kind of design strays, I guess. The other accessory we get here is the sheath for Snake Eyes' sword. This one's in pretty rough shape here. It's all bent up, but it's made out of that real flimsy plastic anyway, so... and our sword is broke anyhow, but we'll go ahead and slide this thing in here. You can kind of see that it does still fit. I'm trying to be gentle with it so I don't break it even more, but it does fit, does work pretty well. You also have a nice peg on the side of it, so the idea is that somewhere on Snake Eyes, in this particular case, it's on his the back of his belt. You've got this little peg hole that you can attach there and snap that into place, and he can carry this around with him, which is pretty cool. It would be much cooler if the sword itself hadn't broke on me, but there we go. So it just kind of clips in like that, and you've got a cool sheath for your sword there. So we'll go ahead and pop that thing off. While we're looking at it, just the sword itself is pretty basic. So this is not the Arashikage sword that we usually get with Snake Eyes. It's more of just a standard katana. Still nice looking, but I'm going to have to fix that one with super glue. Anyways, we do get that. Let's see what else we got. We haven't looked at this thing yet, so let's look at it. So this is a pretty cool looking grappling hook slidey thing. So you got some decent detail work on it. Again, not a whole lot of things going on. You load the green missile at the front. Press the little button. It shoots out. And then the idea would be that you would tighten this up somewhere, and then they can slide on that little hooky thing, which actually works pretty good most of the time. So still, these things are just really big and cumbersome, so I don't usually bother with them, but we get it in the set anyways, and I like it better than most of those zipline things they do, but again, I don't really have much use for it, but it does come with it, so. Moving on, we have two more accessories before we get to the actual figures themselves. Up first, we've got this little snub nose assault rifle thing. Again, decent detail work, not too bad. Looks pretty cool. Then we get two pistols here. One for Duke and one for Snake Eyes. Get in there as close as we can. So you can see the nice little details on those things. And I think they're both the same. They look the same to me anyways. There we go. So two of those pistols. Let's flip it over so we can kind of tell a little bit more. So yeah, they are the same pistols. guess. They look the same to me. Hard to tell on this small scale, but you get 2 of those, one for each of your G.I. Joe guys. So I think that's all of the weapons we got. So the Neo Viper, we already looked at the 2 assault rifles and the blaster pistol. But we'll go ahead and look at the figure itself here. So we do have a cool backpack for both of these guys. So it's the same pack on both of them. Some nice detail work here. The 2 pegs on the side to peg the assault rifles on. And it's actually got 2 tones of paint on it. The silver on the back side and then the black on this side. And then you just kind of line these up on the peg hole and slide them in place and you're good to go there. So very nice. The figure itself is got some nice detail work here. So let's look at the face sculpt first. I've never really been a fan of this weird mask that they wear, but they do have some really cool detail on it. The armor, again, has a lot of detail you don't actually pay much attention to. I do like the color scheme they got going on here. This kind of light, almost metallic blue, and then the black that's going on everywhere. And then that cool kind of gray, granite looking stuff. So all in all, a really nicely detailed figure. Looks really cool. Articulation wise, the head will spin 360 degrees. Got a little bit of up and down motion. This armor on the front doesn't really detract from anything, so no mobility issues because of it. Standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joint. Standard ball and swivel at the elbow joint. And then the forearm has actually got your twist on it. Nothing at the wrist. We do have the standard chest articulation there. And we actually get quite a bit of ab crunch going on there, so that's nice. Standard T-hooks at the waist. Double knee joints there. And standard swivel and rocker at the ankle. So all in all, these Neo Vipers have some really good articulation on them. They do look cool. This kind of shiny blue, almost metallic thing they got going on is pretty nice. Sorry about that. The battery on my camera died on me halfway through that. So luckily we caught it before we went too far with it. So we were just finishing up taking a look at the Neo Viper. So as I was saying, I'm not a big fan of the helmet and the details, but it still looks really nice. All in all, it's a really cool figure. They work a lot better than I thought they would. I've not been a big fan of the concept of these things. I like the Cobra Troopers a lot better than I do these Neo Viper things. But if you can get past the crazy head sculpt, the actual figure itself is a really cool figure here. So these are pretty awesome. So anyways, you do get 2 of those in the set. They are identical. There's nothing I can see that's any different about them, so we're not going to bother looking at both of those individually, just the one. And then next we're going to move on to Duke, I guess, here. So this is the movie version of Duke in his, I don't know, just regular battle fatigues here. The head sculpt looks decent. It's definitely not really a good representation of Channing Tatum, but it's not a bad look. Just a little bit weak. The rest of the figure itself is kind of plain as well. Not a lot of detail. I mean, you've got some, they put some detail work into these things, so you can definitely tell when they've done that. So like right here underneath his chin, they've got that weird zipper thing there. Got some cool, interesting details on his belt. Some nice folds and things like that in the actual cloth. Cool G.I. Joe logo there. Nice regular kind of gray camo fatigues. And some nice details on the boots and things like that. But beyond that, it's kind of just a bland figure. Doesn't really have a whole lot going for it here. So, yeah, we actually ended up with a lot of these figures in the movie line similar to this one. So, that's really my main detraction from the Rise of Cobra line, is the fact that most all of them look like just normal clothing stuff. There's really not nothing special about all of them, so they end up looking very similar to all the rest of them, so it's kind of hard to kind of pick them out of the crowd, I guess. So it's good for army building and things like that, but for actual just me enjoying them, I don't really care too much. But regardless, articulation wise, the head does spin 360 degrees. Get a little bit up and down motion there. Do get the standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joint, standard ball and swivel at the elbow joint, regular swivel at the wrist. We do get the chest articulation there, and he's got quite a bit of the ab crunch feature going on there, so that's nice. Then we got standard T-hooks at the waist, so full range of motion there, pretty nice. Double knee joints and standard swivel and rocker there at the ankle joint. So all in all, standard articulation here. Again, it's not that it's a bad figure, it's just it's a very basic figure, I guess, in my head. So not a whole lot going for it, but it works for what it is. On the packaging it says that they had captured Duke, and I guess Snake Eyes was trying to break him out or whatever. So it kind of works pretty well as a, hey, we've captured Duke, and now he's breaking free. So for that, it is pretty interesting. One thing I just now noticed is the actual knee pads here are different. This one looks to be more rounded, and this one is more, it's got sharper edges. So just something I just noticed here. So not that big of a deal, but that's kind of interesting though. Weird how they did that. But anyways, there is Duke. So yeah. Our last figure in the set is Snake Eyes, and we've had quite a few Snake Eyes figures in the past, so I'm curious to see what this one looks like. It is all shiny and black, so I'm not sure how well some of the details are going to pick up on the camera here, but we're going to try it and see. We do have a cool looking head here. We've got nice glossy visor. We've got some cool details inside of this thing. So, and luckily we don't have that crazy nose issue on the mask, but you can see some of the fold lines, which is really cool. Then we've got some interesting stuff like on his shoulders here. Then the Arashikage clan symbol there. Some interesting detail work on like his backpack. Some nice stuff going on with his belts here. We can get it to quit focusing in on that arm. Kind of standard pants here, but we do get the cool glossy black on top of the kind of matte black knee pads here, and again glossy black boots or slightly darker black boots with some nice details on them. These look really nice. So all in all, I'm actually really impressed with this particular Snake Eyes figure, to be honest with you. It looks really nice, and it just kind of works really well for being a Snake Eyes figure. Again, we've seen a lot of these in the past, and I'm sure I've probably seen this sculpt in the past as well, but I'm actually really impressed with this thing. So it's probably one of the better Snake Eyes figures we've had. That's really cool. I am digging this one. Articulation wise, the head does spin 360 degrees, and we also get up and down movement, so that's a bonus. Standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joints, standard ball and swivel at the elbow joints. We do only get a swivel at the wrist. We do have the chest twist feature and quite a bit of ab rocker motion going on as well. Standard T-hooks at the waist, full range of motion there. You get double knee joints and swivel and rocker at the ankle. So yeah, this is surprisingly an awesome Snake Eyes figure. I was not expecting that out of this particular box set. That's crazy. Yeah, this is definitely the best figure in this set, and again, it's a really awesome Snake Eyes figure by itself. So if we were to just pick this guy up in a loose pack somewhere, this would have been a really awesome figure here. So yeah, that is crazily surprising coming from this particular set. So anyways, this particular box set, the G.I. Joe Rescue Mission, as you can see, it comes with a ton of accessories. You do get the cool Snake Eyes figure, a decent Duke figure, and 2 decent Neo Viper figures out of it. Plus all these cool accessories you got going on everywhere. So price-wise, this thing doesn't really go for a lot, a big high price. I guess there's not really much of a demand for it. So you can usually get this thing for, $20 or so. So it's a really great deal for that particular price point. Even up into the $30 range, you're going to get your money's worth out of this thing. So as surprised as I am to be saying it, this is probably going to be a highly recommended set because it is really, really cool. You get a ton of accessories, again, good figures, and the standout is definitely this Snake Eyes figure. I was not expecting it to be as awesome as it was, but it's really cool, so I'm really digging that thing. Anyways, drop comments down below. Let me know what you think of all of these. Which is your favorite out of the set? I'm sure there's somebody out there that really loves this Duke figure. Again, it's not bad at all. It's just kind of a basic figure in my opinion, but it's not bad. So, I don't know. Drop your comments. Let me know. Well, that's all the time we've got for today, so thanks for watching. Drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think of the G.I. Joe Rescue Mission from the Rise of Cobra movie line. What did you think about the Snake Eyes figure, Duke, the Neo Vipers? Let us all know. Share your thoughts with the world. If you'd like to see anything special in future episodes, let me know that as well. I'll do my best to get it out and get it in front of y'all. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to our channel. Be on the lookout for more awesome videos coming down the pipeline. And until next time, Yo Joe!